Albigenses, Cathars, Nephilim's purest bloodlines. Why did the Church attack Cathars? How was Cathars' ascetic life? How was Cathars' dualism? Who is Elven bloodline coming from Tiamat, sea dragon? What did the Cathars Albigenses believe? They viewed much of the Old Testament with objection, some of them rejected it altogether. The orthodox doctrine of the Incarnation, Jesus as body, was rejected. Jesus was merely an angel, his human sufferings and death were an illusion. They also severely criticized the worldliness and corruption of the Catholic Church. The Cathars, of which the Albigenses were a sect, practiced suicide under the delusion that they would be reincarnated on other planets. For them, the extinction of the whole human race is desirable so that all souls may reascend to their former habitation in the heavens. Starvation Endura. The dualism of the Albigenses was also the basis of their moral teaching. Material is prison. Hence, the liberation of the soul from its captivity in the body is the true end of our being. To attain this, suicide is commendable. It was customary among them in the form of endura, starvation. The extinction of bodily life on the largest scale consistent with human existence is also a perfect aim. So if we all die, the material realm will end, and happily living soul land will begin. In Catharsist doctrine, all intercourse between the sexes ought to be avoided, and that suicide or the endura, under certain circumstances, is not only acceptable but commendable. Intercourse. They were an antinatalist sect who believed in reincarnation, that viewed reproductive sex as evil and strongly discouraged it because all it would do would lead to another soul suffering on earth. Priests and bishops, which they called perfecti, were to remain celibate, and laypersons were strongly discouraged from marrying and having reproductive sex. Spiritual baptism. Consolamentum. The Albigenses and Cathars are generally portrayed by fundamental Baptists as Christian sects of the Middle Ages. The Cathari, Albigenses, Bogomils and other medieval religious sects were Manichaean dualist. Consolamentum was the unique sacrament of the Cathars. The consolamentum was a spiritual baptism. Their baptism was without water, because even water was a product of material and dirt. The Manichaean dualistic system views material as evil and spiritual good. They believed that Jesus only seemed to have a human body. Elven bloodline. The Albigenses, Elven bloodline, has been identified with water, to Tiamat, the dragon queen bloodline of Babylon kings. The dragon lineage of the Elven dynasty goes to Nephilims, Anunnaki. In a very short summary which includes 5,000 years, from Nephilims it passed to Scythians, the Sumerians, Egyptians, the Phoenicians, the Mitanni. It spreaded with Tuatha De Danann, Druidic priest, Scotland, Ireland, England. From there to Uther Pendragon, the highest commander, and his son King Arthur. And a lineage to dynastic Queen Vivian I of Avalon, Merlin, Deluxe. Cathars were keeping some form of purest blood, mysteries, old world religions. They were related to the bloodlines above. It is even said that some of them escaped the massacre with the Holy Grail, and are still hiding for their time. Their view of hating material was, because after the flood, Nephilims lost their bodies and only remained as souls. The non-orthodox Jewish texts say, Nephilims lost their body in flood but their soul is still around, and they can capture bodies. That is the source of demonic possessions in Europe.